No one would have expected, friends, certainly David, that the day of his funeral would be Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. Friends, the story of salvation is the story of our return to the garden. So David Mainse was all about. This is what any of us who are believers are all about. We believe that the garden is awaiting us. The return to total, unmitigated fellowship with our Creator. But the big question is how? In Genesis 4:1 through 5, the Lord had respect unto Abel and his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect. Here is the first hint of an answer to how. We don't really know why God accepted Abel's sacrifice and not Cain's, until much later when the author of the book of Hebrews in the New Testament says, without the shedding of blood, there's no remission of sin. From Abel's blood sacrifice through centuries of Israel's blood sacrifices for sin, the salvation narrative literally flows with the blood of spotless lambs whose deaths are a substitute for the lives of the sinners offering them on the altar. At that distant primitive time, Genesis 4:26 tells us that mankind began to call on the name of the Lord. And that call was predicated on blood sacrifice. Modern sensibilities, of course, are offended by this heavy reliance on sacrifice. But this salvation history comes to us not by reliance on preference or reason, but by the biblical record's reliance on revelation. It has been revealed by the Holy Spirit that the Lord demands substitutionary death in order to remit sin. It's His will, not ours. He's God, we're not. Much later in history, when the Lord was delivering Israel from 400 years of slavery in Egypt, that liberation was predicated on the smearing of lamb's blood on the lintels of their doors. When I see the blood, I will pass over you, the Lord said. This was the Passover, Pesach, the pivotal event in the history of Israel. Here is the point, friends, the lesson of salvation history. David, the lesson of salvation history is, you don't have salvation without a lamb. If that isn't what Huntley Street is about, I don't know what it is. I've talked to too many people over the years who have told me the story of how they watched the program at their lowest moment in their life. They were at literally the end of their rope. And they heard something from David or something from Moira or something from some of the other people on air. And something was sparked within them. The Holy Spirit vitalized those words. They found themselves, instead of dreading, suddenly hoping, embracing Jesus even as He embraced them.